Good morning, everybody. This is Lorraine Alternative Homesteading on Saturday, December 7th, 2024. I hope everybody's doing well. It was pretty cold here overnight, a lot of frost on the ground. But I was so excited this morning because I listened to Steve Lehto of Lehto's Law, and he was bringing forward a verdict against the Pasco County's predictive policing. It ends due to the lawsuit by the Institute for Justice, which is a 501c3 nonprofit. You do not pay them until they win the lawsuit. And basically, the Pasco County Sheriff's Department were pulling over people that they didn't like, that were likely placed on a list, on a targets list. And you'll have to listen to this, but I just want to give you a heads up that I did a video on predictive policing back in December of 2023, and it is entitled "Predictive Policing is Fortune Telling. Look into my crystal ball to prevent the future crime." And let me just read a little bit about what I wrote here. The references that I used were targeted individual John Forbes Nash Jr. Yes, he was targeted. The Princeton mathematician hypergame theory from Wikipedia. Although Nash's mental illness, first began to manifest in the form of paranoia, which was deliberately induced, his wife later described his behavior as erratic. He was being targeted, but he didn't have the words for it. Nash thought that all men who wore red ties were part of a communist conspiracy against him. He mailed letters to embassies in Washington, D.C., declaring that they were establishing a government. Well, he was being targeted by red ties, just the way a lot of targeted people talk about the red cars. He was being sensitized, and he didn't have the words for it. This was a brilliant mathematician, had a PhD, worked at Princeton University. And then another reference I utilized was the men who stare at goats. You know, these stupid people, the CIA, they like to stare at goats and cause them to unalive themselves from the energy emanated from their disgusting eyes, right? So the Men Who Stare at Goats, 2004, was a nonfiction book by John Ronson concerning the U.S. Army's exploration of New Age concepts and the potential military applications of the paranormal. The title refers to the attempts to unalive goats by staring at them and stopping their hearts. Oh yeah, so it's, they predicted that they would do this. Predictive means it refers to the ability to forecast or anticipate future events or outcomes based upon available information or data. In the context of predictive policing or other fields that use predictive analytics, it involves the use of statistical models, algorithms, or machine learning techniques to analyze historical data and make predictions about future events. Readers use other methods or tools of prediction regarding intuition, symbolism, aura reading, and first impressions. These are the intuitives, the empaths, the ones that are being targeted now. And in general, when something is described as quote-unquote predictive, it means it has the capacity to make educated guesses or forecasts about what is likely to happen in the future. This can apply to a wide range of fields from weather forecasting, financial markets, to healthcare and law enforcement, where predictive models are used to identify patterns and trends that can inform decision-making or strategy. Predictive policing is not a form of fortune telling, but it does involve using data analysis and algorithms, which they program their own selves. It's like when you investigate your own selves and find that there's nothing wrong. Well, they're programming the algorithms to forecast exactly the outcome that they desire. That's the way research is manipulated in the real world anyway. If anybody who's been to graduate school got a doctorate, you know about manipulating the statistics. Yeah, you do. So algorithms to forecast where and when crimes are likely to occur. It is a law enforcement strategy that relies on statistical models and machine learning algorithms to analyze historical crime data identify patterns, and make predictions about future criminal activity. While predictive policing aims to provide law enforcement agencies with insights to allocate resources more effectively and prevent crime, cough, cough, it has been the topic of debate and criticism. Concerns include the potential for bias in the data used to train the algorithms and the risk of it reinforcing existing biases in law enforcement practices and issues related to privacy and civil liberties. Oh, we're not biased here in Eastern Kentucky. Oh, no. They let the informant criminals run free and run wild to commit crimes, felony stalking. Yeah. Fortune telling, though, typically refers to attempts to predict future events through mystical or supernatural means, like your intuition, feeling, sensing, symbols, aura, such as the use of astrology and tarot cards or psychic readings. So predictive policing, on the other hand, is grounded in data analysis and technology. While it seeks to anticipate crime trends, it does not involve supernatural or mystical elements. However, it's essential to carefully consider ethical and social implications while implementing predictive policing to avoid reinforcing or perpetuating existing biases in law enforcement, which is punishable by law. So anyway, Steve Lehto, you got to listen to this, guys. Okay? Got to listen to this.
And they walk away from the litigation. So here, a big victory when a case was on the verge of trial. So this is from the press release from the Institute for Justice. Scott Bullock sent this, and it has to do with Pasco County. And Pasco County in Florida had this bizarre operation where the police were doing what they called predictive policing. And if you've seen that movie Minority Report, you know that one of the themes in it was that they could, in the future, predict who is going to commit a crime and then do something about it before they committed the crime. Wouldn't that be great if we could stop all crime before it happened? And of course, that is a
Well, just as a side, it's widely known that our intelligence agencies haven't prevented one serial shooting. They haven't prevented one. Not one. Not one. They haven't prevented not even one. Not even one. They never prevented the little nip and tuck to the trumpet's ear. They didn't prevent that. They didn't prevent any of that from happening, right? None of it. They did not prevent anything from happening.
Science fiction film, not a documentary. Scott Bullock writes, "'Tis the season for stopping dystopian government programs. Just yesterday, we ended Pasco County, Florida's horrible predictive policing system. This victory is a testament to the importance of your steadfast support as we put together a path-breaking but complicated case to halt what was once considered a cutting-edge police tool. IJ launched this case back in 21. After 3 years of gathering devastating evidence, we were finally ready to put the program on trial, literally, which was scheduled to begin yesterday. And among the evidence they had was body cam footage, depositions, hearings, preliminary arguments. They were on the verge of trial. You may recall this program bore more than a passing resemblance to the film Minority Report. The sheriff's office used arbitrary criteria combined with a supposedly sophisticated algorithm to predict which people in the community, including local teenagers, might commit future crimes. Police then harassed individuals and families by going to their homes unannounced, sometimes multiple times a week, to interrogate them. And if people felt families weren't sufficiently cooperative, they would issue citations for harmless code violations, just to keep them on their toes. So the IJ case team was on the ground in Florida.
Doesn't this sound just like what happens with your community stalkers? They instigate trouble. They try to set you up. But here, it was the actual police doing the instigations. They were instigating these people, instigating them to have them to commit something, to act out, to change their behaviors, to incite them. But here, and in most towns, the police are employing their paid informants and your local neighbors, right?
Preparing when Pasco capitulated on the eve of trial. The sheriff's office not only agreed to end the program, they also admitted that they violated the Fourth Amendment by visiting clients' property repeatedly without cause. They admitted they violated the First Amendment by enforcing guilt by association, and they admitted they violated due process rights by putting people on a government list without adequate procedures. And so, if you just...
Did you hear that, boys and girls, men and women? They admitted to placing innocent people on a government list with no due process. So now this is Pasco County, Florida. I guarantee there are going to be more of these cases across the United States, but this is a winning lawsuit against Pasco County for setting up people, placing them on a list with no due process, and they admitted to violating their constitutional rights. This is huge.
Think about this. You go, well, suppose I'm in charge of fighting crime in this community. Where's most of the crime going to probably occur? Well, over here we got a lot of crime. Okay, so who's over here? Okay, these people are over here. So if there's going to be crime over here and these people are over here, these people are probably going to commit a crime. That's not actually how you fight crime. Okay? So we also made sure the agreement to end this program is enforceable by the court. So if there's any backsliding by the sheriff, we can go right back to the judge. They agreed to a 6-figure payment to the clients who were injured by this for at least a measure of compensation for what they had to endure. So this is important. A lot of times a lawsuit will settle, a case will settle, whatever. And you settle it, you put it on the record, probably sign some documents, submit it to the court, and then you submit a dismissal to the court, and the court then takes the file, literally, closes it, and sends it back down to the clerk's office because this file is closed. Put it into deep storage. And they've said that they actually entered into an agreement, which apparently the court agrees with, saying this might need oversight by a court somewhere down the road just in case. So can we get the court to agree that if necessary, we can come back in here without filing a new action? And apparently they got that agreement put together. So as you know, many IJ cases are about stopping nationwide abuses, but some, as in Pasco, are about preventing unbelievably abusive things from becoming nationwide trends. As you can imagine, if Pasco had done anything with respect to the numbers, they said, hey, look, we got the crime numbers to go down a little bit. Other departments would say, hey, we're going to...
What Steve Lehto is not aware of, that this is a nationwide trend. It just hasn't been brought to his attention yet, or the individuals that are providing him information are not targeted people. So all you targeted people out there that watch my channel, it would be a great idea if we all send Steve Lehto an email thanking him for reporting on this predictive policing, also to the Institute of Justice for filing this lawsuit and winning, because this is a nationwide trend. We know it's a nationwide trend. Just look at my videos with my criminal neighbors, right? Look at the nationwide trend here that's happening with you. All of the testimonies you've provided me, all of the testimonies that provided for, all of the other YouTube creators that are reporting on our targeting. But this lawsuit, this Pasco County admitted to placing people on government lists without due process. This, to me, is absolutely huge. And we need to bookmark this. I'll stick a link in the comments section and in the description section. I'll play a little bit more of this. I don't want to get a copyright for him, but just so that you can listen to a little bit more, here you go.
Do that too. And of course, there might be people in the community going, well, if crime's going down, we're happy. Unless you're one of the people they've decided might be a future criminal. So the sheriff's office thought they were launching an innovative program, but of course it was systematically violating the Constitution. So if left unchallenged, the program probably would have spread. Other departments probably would have picked it up and said, hey, yeah, good idea. So no more. Because of your generous support, we were able to stop this dead in its tracks. Thank you for standing with us as we fight to protect freedom and hold government accountable. Together we can ensure that innovation does not undermine liberty, but advances it. And he signed it, Scott. And Scott, of course, is Scott G. Bullock, President and Chief Counsel of the Institute for Justice. And so,
There you go. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. I've listened to it 3 or 4 times already, just to make sure I heard what I thought I heard, okay? So yes, the predictive policing program ends due to the lawsuit by the Institute for Justice, and they admitted to violating your Fourth Amendment right. They admitted to adding people to government lists with no due process. Now, the fact that they admitted this, okay, how will that affect those individuals? Will they then be able to take that information and petition those government lists to get off? Just because they won this lawsuit, it doesn't mean that they are not on some lists to be targeted by other people, especially if they move around. So this is huge. And I want to say something about the dollar amount that they won. Now, this appears to be very typical, and they didn't mention the exact amount, okay? So, the Institute of Justice doesn't take any money until they win the lawsuit. And then it's usually, 20 or 30% that they'll take. No big deal, right? For the amount of work that they do. And, but the dollar amount that I see somewhat consistently in a lot of these lawsuit wins that are settled out of court are $250,000. Now, my intuition is telling me that $250,000 is the limit of their insurance liability per case. It's just a guess. Now, we don't know what the dollar amount was, but these are $1 million lawsuits. Now, they settled out of court the day before this was going to the Supreme Court, where they would have had a jury of their peers. I guarantee that jury, after hearing all the evidence, would have awarded them a couple of $1 million. There's no doubt in my mind. And there's no doubt in my mind that the opposing lawyers, the lawyers for the sheriff's department knows this, right? They know the limit of their liability. They know what their insurance companies will and won't pay out. So they settled. We don't know what the dollar amount was, but I'm going to guess it's around $250,000. Please leave a comment down below if you have any experience in this. If you also watch the the cop audio videos and see what the settlements are, they tend to be $250,000 across the board. That seems to be the liability limit for the insurance policies that they have at their locations. But anyway, please remember to hit the thumbs up. It helps the channel grow. Please share this video. Share this wonderful information. And if you live in Florida and are being targeted, I think you need to get on your butt, get up there, contact the Institute for Justice, and see what they can do for you, because you have been placed on a government list without due process. So have I. So we've got to figure out how we're going to win this, guys. We're in it to win it. I know the other side's in it to win it also, because they have undue upper hand because they are utilizing stealth, covert technology against us. Like my waking up and feeling like I have to urinate, even though I went to bed feeling just fine, because they are targeting my urethra. And I know that this happens to you guys, and yeah, I can prove it. I've got photographs of what they've done to my body physically, and that's another reason why they want to isolate the victim. They don't want anybody to see what happens to you overnight. They don't want anyone to witness the vandalism, the damage. They don't want anybody that knows you to look at your face and ask what happened to you. So please remember to hit the thumbs up. Leave your comments down below. I am looking so forward. And what I'll do is I'll also link my video about predictive policing in the comments section. Signing off for now.